And it's not necessarily the way it looks, it's the way it sounds. If you're in a cigar lounge and you hear that ping.
Yeah. That just sounds like money.
You know it's a DuPont.
Yeah.
You know it's from this brand. And these lighters, I mean, even this brand start at around $2,000 or $3,000. But I'll be there in a high-end restaurant in, let's say, Vienna, where, on a roof terrace, smoking's loud, and I'll hear from the other side, I'll be like, someone's lighting a cigar with a DuPont. Yeah. Who is that guy? So the sound is actually a status symbol if you're a cigar smoker and you know that. But no, nothing can really justify buying it apart from the fact that $55,000 to me is the same as $50 to most people. So why not have a nice lighter that I like? I like it. I think it's beautiful. It's a work of art. Yes. Why not have it?
All right. I like the sales pitch though. It worked, didn't it?
Did it work?
Yeah, it definitely worked.
The cigar was smoother as well.
The cigar was smoother as well.
Told you it was.
It's just unfortunate I got a sore throat, so I can't even barely speak properly.
No one's ever put me on the spot and told me to sell them anything. But
I mean, there's a first for everything.
Jesus, but I've still got the skills there. You could tell I've worked in sales for a very long time. Yeah. And in the end, move is called the takeaway. Well, it's no problem. I don't need to sell this.
So when did you start your next business whether it be a teenager or someone in your 20s, what was the next business that you started for yourself?
The next business. So this is actually a very controversial topic. It's a very controversial topic because some people on Twitter think it's linked to this stupid matrix attack that's going on in my life right now, but it's not at all. But I used to run a completely legal streaming studio. So there are studios like this all over the world, either Twitch, Kick, there are naked ones, non-naked ones, where people broadcast via streaming from certain studio centers. Yep. So I ran something like this, which had a bunch of models on it. Some of them were sitting around in bikinis, some of them got more naked. I won't pretend that it's not what it is, But that business started when I was around 23 and a bit, and I sold it all and I was done with the industry by the time I was 28. Very, very tricky business to run. It's more about your people skills and managing groups of people, making sure everyone's happy, making sure everyone's making enough money, making sure there's no jealousy between streamers, etc. But it's not something that I go into too much on this podcast because genuinely I don't find it very interesting. At the time I was running, I had some small arcade casinos, I had a few other things going on. Andrew was still fighting, of course. But it's something that I did for a number of years. And now I've been hit with this stupid matrix attack. And I'll reiterate this once again, as I have done on many other podcasts. People say, ha, 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 he used to run a streaming studio. Were those people human trafficked? It has nothing to do with this stupid matrix attack they hit me with. The allegations against me in this attack are that in the last 3 years, so way after I've already been done with this, I was somehow convincing my friends to make TikTok videos so I could steal the money. That's the evidence. Not the charges. The charges are serious. Human trafficking, that's a very serious sounding charge. But the evidence and the story the prosecution's trying to paint is that I somehow help my friends to make money on TikTok so I can steal it. That's what I'm actually accused of.
The business that they brought up with the whole Matrix tax thing, why would you say it's not interesting?
It's not very interesting because running a webcam studio is not an interesting job. You're sitting staring at spreadsheets all day and numbers. It's not a very interesting job and it's not a very interesting business. It's the business of, and I'll say as a Christian now, and Andrew's obviously reverted to Islam, it's not a business I would run now. But you have to understand, I'm a young man in my 20s. I'm 23. I see it's a way of making money. The people who worked for me were very, very happy. They've actually all been interviewed by the police and they've said, get lost. I worked for Tristan. He paid me very well. But the people who worked for me were all very happy. I was very happy. It made a lot of money, but I don't think it's a very interesting business in the same way the gumball business isn't interesting. The gumball business is interesting because I was 5, but essentially I was selling gumballs for exorbitant amounts of money to people who didn't know the value of money. Now, with any kind of streaming, you've seen these people on TikTok. Ice cream so good. You've seen these people, yes?
Yeah, these NPC ones,
What are they selling and why on earth are people buying it? The truth is, even though I ran a business very similar to that setup, I don't know why my customers were paying. I don't understand what would motivate someone to buy virtual ice cream for a girl on TikTok saying the ice cream tastes good. I don't get it. So I can't really dive too much into that apart from the fact that, a lot of men are lonely. A lot of men have no access to women. And the message I try to purport now in my messaging and in my motivational speeches to youngsters is don't be that kind of guy. Be the kind of guy who's classy, respectful, wealthy, fit, strong, and you're never going to be buying digital ice cream for a girl on TikTok to lick the screen. That's never going to happen to you. So I steer people away from that. And I'm actually very proud of myself. And the message that I've learned from running that streaming studio is essentially this. People attack me for it today. They attack 35-year-old Christian, father, Tristan Tate, for running a webcam studio, but they don't realize that it was actually 23-year-old kickboxing street
it's
kid
not
from
you now,
Luton.
yeah,
It's a
before.
different man who was running this business. But what I would say is I would never, ever turn back time and not run that business, because male loneliness, male depression, the fact that men have no access to women, how sad it makes them, all of these things that me and Andrew know, I certainly know from running that business. I was more involved in it than Andrew ever was. And essentially, in the world, if I were, which I think is quite tragic, if I were a former gang member and drug dealer, and I was giving speeches about, listen, kids, don't take drugs, everyone would be like, okay, let's listen to this guy, because he sold drugs. If I was an ex-drug addict and I said, kids, don't take drugs, they say, let's listen to this guy, good for him, ex-drug addict, turned his life around. I ran a perfectly legal streaming business for a number of years, and now when I tell people, hey, guys, don't watch porn, don't watch adult content, don't give money to streaming girls on the internet, don't tip girls on Twitch for playing video games, people will be like, you're a hypocrite. You used to run a business like that. I'm like, yes, I know.
That's why I'm telling you.
That's why I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But it gives me the authority, but people dismiss it flippantly and be like, whoa, that's hypocritical. No, it's not. I think I speak from a position of authority much more than any imam or priest who will say, hey, don't watch girls on the internet and tip streaming girls money. Because I know more than they do what the true nature of the business is like. I have more authority than anybody. But, you know, people try to use it as they try to use it as a weapon against me, and I simply don't care. I simply don't care. And people tried to say that me and Andrew are part of certain movements. I am part of no movement apart from the Tate movement. I may not be right, I may not be wrong, but you can't argue with results, and the way me and Andrew live has worked extremely well for us. It's worked extremely well for tens of thousands of young men who listen to me, who've bettered themselves business-wise, physically, because of mine and Andrew's teachings. I'm not saying I'm right all the time, but when people try to put me into certain groups, Tristan Tate is a conservative broadcaster because I hold a lot of conservative values. Other people in the conservative space will be like, hey, he's not one of us because he used to run this business where girls got their tits out. And I'm like, I don't want to be part of your little weird club. I never said I was a conservative influencer. You've labeled me that, and then you've said I'm not. I don't give a shit what anyone thinks because I don't put myself into any of these boxes. Red pill, conservative, entrepreneur, but I guess you could call my messaging motivational if you find motivation from it. But some people don't. Some people find the way me and Andrew construct our messaging very annoying, very irritating. I don't motivate some people when I say, listen, you're fat and you're broke. Do something about it. Some fat broke people think, okay, great. Wow, he's right. And some fat broke people think he's mean and turn me off. So maybe I'm not motivational. I don't put myself in any category. So I won't be told what I am and what I'm not from people who do not know me. It's as simple as that.
You mentioned something earlier on, about people going on TikTok live saying, ice cream's so nice.
Yeah.
And that's the day and age we're living in now, right?
Uh-huh.
So we've gone from a time where people like yourself are going from a time of hustling in McDonald's, preference manager, or selling PVC, selling windows, to now people making money on TikTok by doing stupid shit.
Yes.
What's your opinion on today's generation and how they make their money?
Loads of people, look, every single tool throughout human history that can be developed can be used positively or negatively. Right now, it's the big argument about AI. Oh, is AI going to take over the world? Is it going to control the weapons and the tanks in the future? But obviously, there are massive, massive positive implications of AI, self-driving cars and things like that. But you could go back to the Bronze Age and say, hey, let's stay in the Stone Age, because if you make bronze swords, someone's going to get hurt. And you could halt human, I guess, intellectual evolution, let's call it, by stomping down on ideas. Now the internet is around. A lot of people are using it to do amazing things. Even if you look at Elon Musk purchasing the X platform and letting people speak freely, and letting the news regulate itself more so than it was before. Maybe not 100%, but certainly more so than it was before. He's doing great things. And then you see people eating imaginary ice cream and buying girls imaginary ice cream on the internet, and you're like, well, this is stupid. I think that whatever tool you give somebody, it's down to them, and I guess the forces around them, to make the most positive use out of it. I feel like the internet is so incredibly powerful. you're making money using the internet right now.
Yeah.
So there are young men like you, 27 years old, using the tool of the internet and actually putting out content that benefits people, that people learn from. Maybe you're learning yourself as you grow and as you speak to people like myself and like my brother and all the people you interview. And you're using it as a massive tool to grow yourself, grow your income, grow your influence. And that's beautiful. You could use exactly the same Wi-Fi network to buy imaginary ice cream if you liked, but that's your choice. It's all about what you do with the tool that you're given. You can give some kids, some 5-year-old kids, a gumball machine, and they'll sit there and chew bubblegum till their teeth fall out. And you can give me a gumball machine, and I'll start a small business and make $50. So
I think it was either you or Andrew tweeted this about the woman who, goes on live and acts like an NPC.
Yes.
She makes $7 or $8 grand a day.
Yes.
So I think the way one of you guys put it was on Twitter,
she did nothing wrong.
She did nothing wrong.
That's what I said.
And you're letting this person beat you in life. Basically.
Exactly.
A person who's going on TikTok live, acting like emojis, is beating you in life.
Yes, 100%. And Andrew said that. My main point was, why is everyone hating on her? I can't remember her name. I wouldn't say it if I did remember, but I can't remember their names. There were two.
There's two main ones.
There were two girls I posted photos of. One of them retweeted it, but again, the names slipped my mind. And I said, this is a capitalist consumer society. If they want to lick imaginary ice cream and bounce around on the screen like this, they should be earning zero. But the fact that they are making 5-10 grand a day, why are we mad at them? I'd be mad at my son if I caught him buying imaginary ice cream. I'd probably give him a black eye, for sure. I'd knock him out. What the fuck are you doing? But I don't think the model herself is doing anything immoral or anything wrong. She's not even naked. She's just literally bouncing up and down, pretending to eat imaginary ice cream. But yeah, the fact that something so stupid can make so much money, obviously women are blessed with the gift that men want to throw money at them, and they use the internet to propagate that. I would say, as a young person, if you're wasting your time on the internet playing video games or watching nonsense streamers or clowns or people who have nothing to teach you, then yeah, you need to find a better use for the internet, because there are girls that, neither of them were even hot, by the way. They were both like 5s. One was a 6, one was a 5. I can't remember their faces exactly, but yeah, how on earth are you letting these people make 20 grand a month from the internet and you're still happy with zero? I don't get it.
It don't make no sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
How can you watch that and understand the money that's being made and you still be happy making zero money using the greatest communication tool that's ever been developed in human history?
Yep.
I don't understand it.
I know. Tristan, I want to come to this point in the podcast just to understand lifestyle and what you spend your money on. So you're making all this money. As Andrew said, $1 billion. What do you actually do with it? What's your spending habits like?
We spend a lot of money on cars. And that's more because of Andrew than me. If it were up to me, we'd have about 8 to 10 cars. I don't know what number Andrew told you. I think it's upwards of 51, 52 now.
Yep.
I don't know what he's been ordering lately. So he may have said a higher number.
He said yesterday he bought an Aston Martin.
Yes.
And I think he also said he also ordered the new Revuelto Lamborghini as well.
Yeah, no, okay, fine. So that puts us, 54, 55? Anyway, I don't know. But it's a lot of money that we spend on cars. When you get to a certain level, there are things, you run out of things to spend money on. I'm not going to say where I have real estate, but real estate would be a good purchase if I had any money, wink, wink, of course. All my real estate in Romania has been taken. But real estate is an incredible investment. I like historic buildings. I like antiques. I like art. I like suits. I buy books that cost a lot of money. I buy first edition books from the 1800s.
What sort of books?
I mean, just really great novels, but the first ever printing of a book costs a lot of money. And the good thing about books is none of them are here in case the Romanian police are listening, of course. But the good thing about books is someone will come in your house, someone who doesn't know exactly what they're looking at. In fact, 99.9% of people will come into your house and see a bookshelf. And one book's £5, that book's £10, they're just old leather books. One of them's 140 grand. No one knows that store of wealth is there. So even things like these cigarette lighters. The police, when they raid your house, don't steal your cigarette lighters.
But they don't think
They don't know
that's
what they
going to be
cost.
55 grand.
No, they'll take this watch, and this watch is cheaper than that lighter.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about antique books, antique furniture, things like that, is they're a really cool store of wealth that never loses you money, and nobody knows what they're worth. So people will just walk past them. But then when you do meet that guy who sees your piano, for example, you've just purchased, and like, oh, that's a 1892 Erard piano. You're like, okay, this guy's my kind of guy, you know. So I don't have a piano at my house, but I am buying all these things. I also spend lots of money on clothes. I have probably, my wardrobe is upwards of £500,000.
£500,000,
£500,000, absolutely.
bro.
In suits and
Yeah,
shoes.
I mean, to be fair, you're tailored, like the way your clothes fit and everything like that is 10/10 anyway. And you go to London for your suits as well, or used to anyway.
Okay. Well, they come to me.
They
But
come to you.
obviously, I'm one of their best customers. I'm not gonna say the name of the tailor here because I don't need people copying me and like lengthening the wait times.
But I don't know if they could afford to copy you.
Even if someone could afford it, yeah. But did you see recently I think it was the Indian Prime Minister had a blue suit on, and when you zoomed into the little yellow stripes, it was actually 24 karat gold with his name.
Is it?
Like that, yeah. Look it up, anyone at home. Anyway, I've just ordered a 3-piece suit in that. That cost me upwards of 50.
What, with like your name there as well?
Yeah, it's gold stripes.
Yep.
That from a distance looks like a navy blue suit with gold stripes. When
Yeah.
you zoom in, the 24 karat gold woven into the material will read Tristan, Tate, Tristan, Tate, Tristan.
Yeah, it's sick.
So there's I bought one that cost me over 50 grand for that suit. That's on order. Yeah, I have lots of nice clothes. So if you think £500,000, 10 suits like that would be £500,000. It's well over that. I spend lots of money on clothes.
Is there anything that you can't buy? Is there anything you think to yourself, you know what, me and Andrew need to work harder so we can get that? I'll give you an example. There was a video that went viral recently where Jeff Bezos, he has a $500 million mega yacht, but then as his security yacht is another $100 million yacht.
Yes.
Now, arguably,
I can't afford that.
so, but does it get to a point where you think, okay, I want that, so I need to get that?
No, because I don't, and this sounds like cope. And when lots of people speak this way, they're just coping for things they'll never have. And I'll make the position perfectly clear right now. If I wanted something I couldn't afford, I would tell you. That's the kind of person I am. I like renting yachts. I like renting private jets. I don't want to buy a plane. We had one for 6 months. I'm not sure if Andrew told you the story.
I think on the last podcast, yeah.
Yeah,
But
so we did have a plane for a short time, but I don't want to buy a private plane. I don't want to buy a yacht. I don't like the ocean, don't like sailing. I'll rent one for a week. It might cost 400 grand for the week to rent it, but I can afford that. I don't want a yacht. Now, if I were to buy one, I could buy a 50, 60, 70 million dollar yacht. Like I could buy a really
Nice
impressive boat.
Yeah.
Don't want one. So now I'm at the point where the only things I can't afford are some of the world's most expensive houses. I mean, there are houses in California, 300, 400 million. I haven't got that much liquid. I can't buy those houses. But I can buy the exact houses I like, all the cars I want, all the clothes I want, all the suits I want. And more importantly, I can take care of my mother. I can take care of everybody who I love. My mother flies on private jets now. She doesn't fly economy or even business or first anymore. And, you know, me and Andrew can run our charity. We can help out the world as much as, I guess, two people can. There's nothing that I now look forward to and think, one day I'll be rich enough for that, because I'm currently rich enough for everything that I want. And if I wanted a boat, I would admit it. I don't want to own a boat, ever.
you know, the public know you and Andrew for flying on private jets. But can you remember the first time you went out of economy to maybe business or
Yes.
first or whatever it was? Tell me that story.
I remember. So the first time I ever flew business class I was probably 25 or 24, around that time. And I was flying to Thailand. And the first time I ever flew business class, and this is a lesson about appreciating things that you lose over time, when I was saying I'm trying to stay grounded, I'm trying to stay humble. Now, business class, which airline was it? I think it may have been Aeroflot, the Russian airline. Amazing business class experience. Obviously, you get the lay flat bed, all the room you want, the food is amazing. And on Aeroflot, all the air hostesses are really good looking as well, which is an added bonus.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was flying to Bangkok from London, and I got on the plane. It was amazing. Glass of champagne, ate a bit of food. After 45 minutes, I was like, wow, this is incredible. Let me try the lay flat bed. And I put the bed on lay flat, and I blinked, and I was in Bangkok. And I thought, I just
time travel.
I spent $3 and a bit grand to sleep. That's a waste of time. So then what happened is, for the next 4 or 5 years after that, every time I flew business or every time I flew first, I would never sleep, just out of principle. I'll try and drink all your whiskey, eat all your food, eat all your caviar, take the showers, go to the bar. Let me enjoy it to its absolute fullest. And that was, I guess, my period of maximum appreciation for the experience of not being in economy. Plus, I'm big. I had to get rich. Flying in economy is painful. I'm 6'4". I'm just over 6'4". It's bad. So Nowadays, if I fly business or first, because there are some journeys, if I'm flying by myself to the United States, you need a massive jet to fly transatlantic.
Yep.
It makes more sense to fly first class, and I like first class. Nowadays, I will go to sleep though, because I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
So,
We've gone past that point.
I've had the fun of the private jets in the first class. Now it's just how I travel. And private jets are so convenient because of the airport check-in process and the landing process. It all takes 10 minutes as opposed to 3 hours. But now I will go to sleep. I won't try to drink all the gin just out of some weird principle. So yeah, I feel like I'm now numb to it.
So you brothers used to own a private jet. What's the story with that? And why have you not got it anymore?
Very short story. Andrew bought a plane. We didn't need a plane, and we like driving everywhere. So our plane was in Romania. We drive from Romania to Spain over the course of 3 or 4 days in our supercars. We're in Spain. We wanted to fly to London. Trying to organize our jet, had to get a crew, flown to Bucharest, from Bucharest to Spain, from Spain to London. It would cost, even though I owned the plane, more to do all that legwork of getting the plane to move around with all the crew, to get the plane to Spain, to bring me to London, than it would be just to fly just to charter a private jet and get
from
a
Spain
plane
to
from Spain to
London.
London. So because I like driving everywhere, immediately we realized we don't need to own this.
You don't make sense.
Yeah, and it was a 16-person jet. If me and Andrew are flying to London, I'll get a 6-person jet if it's available. It's still enough space for 2 men. There's a couch. I don't care. It's okay.
And a few girls.
So yeah, so we realized very quickly that the way we live our lives, we don't need a private jet. If you are a businessman and you are flying constantly, twice a day, 3 times a day, to all these different cities, say you're the CEO of a big multinational company, yes, you need a private jet. I don't. I'll go weeks without flying. So it didn't make any sense. Sold it, never looked back. Don't want one. But I still fly on private jets. And obviously people will say, haha, that's rented. I'm like, this flight costs 50 grand just one way. Like, you don't make that in a year. Like, it's always people who are jealous or don't have the things that you have that come at you with stupid. I mean, there's still a conspiracy theory I rent my cars. I mean, my last name is stitched into the seats of the Bugatti.
Oh, I've seen
and
it,
Bugatti posted it on their official Instagram and tagged me and like, rented cars. Whatever.
How did you feel when Bugatti removed that post?
I understand the position businesses have to take. You know, the funny thing is, I wouldn't associate with a human trafficker. Human trafficker? I've got a daughter. What? People who like kidnap people and sell them? Scum of the earth. If I met someone and said, oh yeah, he was in jail for human trafficking, he got convicted, I'd punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Like, why on earth would anyone want to associate with these people? And it's a very tricky situation now that they've labeled me as a human trafficker for trying to help friends out on TikTok allegedly and stealing the money, which obviously never happened. And that's all going to be proven, of course, in time. It's very weird when people like disassociate with me. If they know me personally, and a few people have tried to distance themselves from me, I'm like, okay, fuck this person, because they know me. They know I'm not this. But if someone I don't know or a company doesn't want to associate with me or work with me because of the allegation, I'm like, yeah, I get it. They don't know I'm innocent. They don't know what the Romanian police force is like. They don't know what DCOP can be like in targeting people. They don't understand the corruption. They don't get it. They just think Tristan Tate, human trafficker. Okay, let's distance ourselves. Yeah, I get it. It's fine. And when I'm exonerated, I will never work with or these companies again. Bugatti just removed a post. That's fine. Bugatti are good. I'm still going to buy their cars. But there are various people in London who, I don't know, made items for me. I don't know, ties, etc. is one story. I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. But as soon as I got out of jail, disassociated with me. I was like, okay, well, that's weird. So I buy your stuff and I pay for it, but you don't want me saying that I buy from your company? Fine, I won't buy from your company. And when I'm exonerated, I'm sure all these people are going to come crawling back.
Yeah, probably will.
I'm one of the best customers for a lot of this stuff in the world, but I just won't associate with them as, I guess, not even revenge, because I don't think in a revenge kind of mindset, just principle. You don't want to associate with me if they falsely accuse me of something. Well, when everything's fine and I'm flying high again and my name's clear, I still have a clean criminal record even now, but when I have no accusations hanging over my head, then I won't talk to you then.
Yeah. Tristan, I think it's no secret that you're a bit of a ladies' man, right?
I've been known to.
I think me and the rest of the boys in here, the crew, want to know the secret to how you actually get a good woman. I feel like if anyone has the answer, it's you, Tristan Tate.
What do you define as a good woman? If you were to ask me, Tristan, how do you make a good coffee? I'd say 3 scoops black. But you might like cappuccinos. He might like pumpkin spice lattes or something gay. No offense, bro. Don't worry. My point is, what exactly defines a good woman? What do you want from her? What do you want to do with her? You want a woman who's fun? You want a woman who you're going to start a family with? You want a woman who's not going to gold dig or hustle you? I don't know what you want. So I can only give my version of the answer.
What do you look for in a woman then? What is a good woman to you?
Well, for lots of years of my life, over the years of my life, the definition has certainly changed. When I was 23, a good woman was any woman who was 10 out of 10. Like,
regardless of personality,
personality, overlooked all of it. Didn't really care, because at that point I was building my business. I was trying to kickbox. I wasn't interested in, having kids or a future or this kind of thing. But I think
it was more of a playboy.
Yeah, exactly. I was, and I've spent my whole life, I guess, meeting all sorts of various women, and that I think gives me the edge to be able to tell who's a good woman and who's not. But what I would say, the number one factor you want in a woman is honesty. Honesty in everybody is the most important thing that you can possibly look for. I'm going to give you an example. Okay. Let's say you meet two women. One of them has let me try and formulate this example in my head. Okay. One of them has a body count of 9. Okay. She's 25. That's not super high, but it's not low either. Okay, I've got a body count of 9, I'm 25, and this woman approaches you, and she talks to you, right? And you meet another girl, and she tells you her body count is 8, but it's actually 4. You're better off with the woman who actually has the body count of 9. Because if the other woman will lie about that, what else is she lying about? And also, how do you know it's really 4? Once someone has displayed to you that they don't want to be honest, or that they're willing to package themselves as something that they're not in order to get in your good books, that is the ultimate red flag. Ultimate red flag above anything else. If a girl says, hey, my body count's 4, I used to be a stripper when I was in university, I was trying to make money, blah, 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 and you take her at face value, then that's at least someone that you could associate with and you could talk to. Whereas if a girl's body count was really 1, and she used to be a stripper too, but never tells you, and you find out some other way.
Later on down the line.
That's a worse woman. Honesty is what you need from women. And I think that the key to finding a good woman is having a good bullshit detector. And my bullshit detector is like none other. I cannot be lied to. So sometimes I'll have a new girlfriend, for example, and I'll be dating a new woman. And then people will say like, oh, she's only with you for the money. I'm like, brother, I'd know if she was. I'd know if she was with me for the money. I'd know if she was with me because I'm rich, because I meet women like that all the time who are trying to get with me because I'm rich. And I know she's different. So yeah, you just want to up your bullshit detector. There are lots of ways you can catch people lying nowadays, but look at any sign of dishonesty or any sign of trying to come across as something that you're not as the ultimate red flag. Because if you discover one bad thing about her, she said her body count was 4, but and she who her exes were, for example. But then there's a 5th one. He said he used to date her, and she's like, okay, I lied. It's 5. It's not 5. It's 50. You just haven't found them all. Honesty
Still got more to unlock.
Honesty above everything else.
But at the same time, would you say, how do I word this right? A man's biggest downfall can also be a woman, in a sense that, say a man's trying to build his empire, and now a woman comes along and locks him down, and now he's not even bothered about building that empire. 100%. Would you say a woman could also play a big part in a man's success?
100%. But just like with, just like a kid or a woman or a certain amount of success, if that has the ability to put out your fire, then you're not built for it. You're not built for it. Because I've met women all across my journey and my ascension to where I am today who would have loved me to just stop working so much and hang out with them all the time and watch Netflix and maybe marry them. What's sad is, and I get called misogynistic all the time, so I'll say something quite misogynistic. I don't give a shit. What's sad is a woman will happily put out your fire, and the same type of woman that will put out your fire to make sure that you no longer work so much and you're not as ambitious sometimes doesn't realize that that's what she liked about you in the first place. Let's say I met a woman now. Let's say. She's obviously attracted to the fact that I'm super ambitious, that I train super hard, that I wake up at 7 every morning, that I'm constantly trying to learn something and better myself. Now I'm taking Russian lessons, but whatever it is, I'm constantly trying to improve who I am. Women will find that incredibly attractive and still get with me and try to put the fire out and try to stop me from doing those things. And you know what would happen if I became fat, stopped learning, stopped making so much money, became boring, just stayed at home with her all the time? She'd probably end up cheating on me, because that's just the nature of people. So yeah, if you let that happen to you, it's your fault. There's nothing I can say to people who, will meet a woman and quit the quest for greatness. Maybe your quest is just to be with your average chick and be an average man and have your average income and have your average family and let them work in the car washes. I'll drive past in my Bugatti. It's fine by me. and there's nothing you can do to drag these people up. I try my best to say things like this and let people listen to me. But, when I get those super chats online, hey man, I just broke up with my girl after 8 years. I haven't been working on myself because I was so comfortable with her, and now I'm 41. I'm like, bro, it's over.
Yeah, move on.
Your mistake.
Yeah.
It's over. Get your shit in gear, or don't send me your money on super chats. I don't need your $5. Like, do something else.
Just to say something stupid, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, crazy guys. You and Andrew are both like a icon when it comes to men finding their inspiration. People look up to you, both of you.
Thank you.
What does it mean for you to be that role model?
Like anything in life, whether it's becoming a father or, losing your dad and having your mom to take care of, everything can be a source of inspiration. Everything can be used to either stoke that fire or put it out. The woman example you gave earlier, you can meet a woman who wants a good life and wants a good family with you, and you can think, I'm going to work twice as hard. And being the source of inspiration for young men has made me, I guess, focused more on not slipping up. Now I can't fail. I can't fail because I'm not letting myself down. If me and Andrew failed, if me and Andrew, sank into depression and developed a drug habit and checked ourselves into rehab, the typical celebrity journey, because the pressure is real up here, I feel like I'd let so many people down. Not that would ever cross my mind anyway. I'm a very mentally strong person, but it's just more responsibility. And I like the responsibility. It makes me smarter. It makes me train harder. It makes me work harder. So I appreciate all of my fans in that way because they're inspiring me. I can't let everybody down.
You got something to look out for too.
No, exactly. I've got an entire community of people who, aspire to be like me. Imagine I let it all fall off. I gained 6 stone and I was sitting around all day like, oh, I'm sad now. Oh, they tried to take all my money. Oh, they've said these mean things about me. I'm sad. Everyone leave me alone. So many people be like, nah, this is fake. This can't be Tristan Tate. And it never will be because I'll never let them down because I won't let myself down or my brother down or my mom or my daughter or anyone who relies on me. No one's getting let down. Not by me.
What's the biggest challenge you've had to face in your life? Could be anything, not just women. Could be business, could be from your younger days.
I'm trying to think. I've had several challenges in my life. At 23, I lost everything from working that insulated conservatory job to just before I started my streaming company. I was homeless for a while. I was sleeping on my friend's couch.
Really? What happened to the money?
What happened to the money? Well, I'd lost my job. That business went under because it was poorly managed. Andrew was still kickboxing. So yeah, I was sleeping on my friend's couch for a while. Andrew was sleeping at his girlfriend's house. So I've gone through periods of ups and downs, and I've had my setbacks. So whether it be that, my father passing, moving country when I was a kid to an entirely new country, an entirely new environment and educational system, being sent to prison. I've had all these sort of setbacks, but I like everything else. Like I said earlier, I find it as a source of fuel. I can't sit here and actually say, the question was like, what was your biggest setback, or what did you find the hardest? It's not hard. It's another fuel source of the fire and the inspiration that keeps pushing me forward. And I wouldn't be here if none of those things had happened. So I'm glad for all of them, even what I'm going through now. Whatever. It is what it is. In 2 years, I'm going to be happy I went through it. So I don't see them as setbacks.
You know, I'm not going to ask you so much about the Joe experience because I feel like many people have asked you that.
Everyone's asked me about it.
Yeah, it's a lot of repeat questions. But what I do want to ask is, at that point when it hit you like, oh my God, we're actually going to jail now, we don't know how long for, what was that feeling like? Because I'm sure at first, just like everyone else, people thought you were going to be in there for a couple of days, a week.
Yes.
2 weeks max.
Well, I thought I'd be in for 24 hours.
That's what I'm saying.
I guess the only shocking part was I assumed that the police were trying to do their job. And their job is to ascertain the truth, to try to punish criminals and to try to stop crime. That's their job. Turns out what was being done was trying to put me in jail, whatever the cost.
Yeah,
it was nothing to do with trying to stop crime, save people, help people. It was trying to put me in jail. And that resignation came after the first 24 hours in jail, which should have been it. The police should have said, okay, clearly bullshit, throw it away. When I got put in front of a judge, and the police had obviously told her, this is a very serious case, these guys are very dangerous people, and the judge said, okay, 30 days in jail. And I'm like, a month? And that's just it? Now I'm for a month in jail? The feeling was very much a realization that, wow, there are some truly evil people in this world. Truly evil. Because if you want to talk about human trafficking, what does that mean? Taking innocent people against their will and locking them away from their families or whatever for your own financial gain.
Yep.
Well, there are career people in this country, a few career people, who, for their own financial gain, for their own career prospects, are willing to sacrifice mine and Andrew's entire life, everything we've built, everything we've done, all the struggles I've been through, and throw us in jail so they can get a promotion, so they can get a few extra $1,000 a month and get the credit of, oh, look, I put them in jail. I think those people know I'm not guilty. In fact, they know I'm not guilty more than anyone else because they're the ones trying to build the case and they're failing. They know I'm not guilty. And I was like, wow, there are people in this world who are truly evil, who will separate fathers from their kids, sons from their mothers. I'm still separated from some of these people now because I can't leave this country for years on end for their own financial gain. That's human trafficking. That's truly sickening. And yeah, I thought I had more faith in people in positions of authority.
I don't know if you can answer this, but do you feel let down by Romania?
No, because it's not Romania that's let me down. It's not Romania that let me down. I think that with the influence Andrew had, this could have happened. I'm not saying it would have happened, but it could have happened in any country in the world. Romania was a very bad country for it to happen in. Because in England, if they try to accuse you of a crime, they arrest you for 24 hours, and they can't hold you more than 24 hours. They let you go.
Yeah.
And then they build their case and try to judge
then they'll get you when they've got everything.
Here, they can keep you in jail essentially forever if they like. You can just be stuck in jail forever.
Yeah, well, Andrew was saying on the last podcast we just done, he was just saying that UK might try and take over now with the whole case and everything.
Well, this is what I mean. It's an attack on Andrew. So how much of this am I going to blame Romania for? If the UK now starts saying, oh, well, you know, maybe he is a criminal. I haven't lived in the UK, neither has Andrew, for over a decade. What crime could I have committed there? What, you think I stole something from a shop? Like, what do you think I did when I was in England? But nope, the Metropolitan Police, which obviously have real problems to deal with, like, you know, the guy who threw acid in everyone's face and never got caught, and all the people who get stabbed in London. No, they want to go after me and Andrew? Well, good luck. And if you're a British taxpayer, you should be very, very upset at how they're spending your money because they're not going to find evidence I've ever committed a crime, but they're just trying to pull you through the ringer.